When you are looking to move to Serbia, it is important that you get your initial steps started on the correct path. Regardless of the pathway that you're doing so, it could be through marriage, it could be through a business, it could be through a home purchase. The temporary residency process is something that you must make sure that it is filed correctly, that the correct fees are paid, that you are actually talking to people that know what they're talking about and how to initially start this process and get you to that space where you are eligible to be transferred over into permanent residency. Now, today I'm going to talk to someone who reached out to me in the recent past, and they were extremely furious that after 5 years of being in Serbia, owning a home, being married to a Serbian citizen, having children who are Serbian citizens, that they are now required to restart their whole process over again, not to mention the thousands of euros, almost 10,000 euros to be exact, in money spent, that it is all for a waste of time. And of course, this has nothing to do with us because 5 years ago, I wasn't even in the country and didn't even have this business called Relocation Serbia to end up helping individuals that have gone down these paths. And one of the reasons I started this business was because I simply got scammed out of not thousands of dollars, but I got scammed out of a few hundred euros. And I was put through the ringer, and I was like, you know what? If someone who can read, write, and speak the language is getting this runaround, how do others feel? And today I'm going to talk to you about this individual's story and what are some of the things that were done by mistake, how she was taken advantage of, and how we are potentially going to rectify this situation for her. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of this individual or her name. Let's call her Lisa for the better sake of this video. Like I mentioned, she has been living here for 5 years in Serbia. She's been married to a Serbian citizen who was born here in Serbia. They're actually living in his hometown where he's living. She owns a house here, and they have a number of children who are Serbian citizens. Now, from the story that I gathered is when they came here, they were, referred to a lawyer by someone here in Serbia who was supposed to sort out her temporary residency process. Now, they paid this individual, this lawyer, 6,000 euros in order to get the initial steps done. Now, when you apply for temporary residency here, if you are doing it through a business, it's typically done on a 1-year visa application. If you are doing it through marriage, if you are doing it through property ownership, typically it's done on 3 years. However, this individual was doing it through marriage to her husband and should have initially got a 3-year residency permit here, a temporary residency permit to be exact, not a permanent residency permit. And this lawyer that they hired, that they paid 6,000 euros to, gave her only a 1-year residency permit. Now, one of the things that they found out was that after that 1 year, that was an actual fraudulent residency permit here, and she was not allowed to be in the country at all, actually, past her 90 days, because the passport she came in here gave her 90 days visa free, and they had to reinitiate that process here. Now, when she was reinitiated that process with a different agency, that agency said, hey, listen, maybe you should go and report your situation here and see about getting your money back. They went and tried to locate the original lawyer. To come to find out, that lawyer has left for Austria and has had a number of cases and complaints against her, and there's nothing that they can do, that they've been out of all this money. So here we are in 2022, and she applied again for her temporary residency process once again. And what ended up happening is that she was again given a 1-year temporary residency process. And here in Serbia, when you get a temporary residency, you get a physical card. What she showed me she had was a visa in her passport, which is typically given out to people that require a visa to come into the country, if it's for work, if it's for study, so on and so forth. So that raised some flags out for me, number one. She ended up doing this for 3 years, and the inspector stated to her that after 3 years that she would be eligible for permanent residency. And the issue is, the inspector is someone who works at the police station. One of the things, and I'm not saying all inspectors or people at the police station are ignorant to how to actually do their jobs. Not saying that they all know, but a lot of them get their jobs based on who they know within the system, not on what they know on how to do their job or what they finished for. So after 3 years being here, she went to apply for her permanent residency. She gathered all her documents and she submitted for her permanent residency, which was rejected. They said that she did not submit it in within the allotted time, that her birth certificate information was incorrect. I don't know the whole details. We're just about to dive into this case on our own to see what she filed, when she filed, so on and so forth. And she's been returned back to essentially a tourist status. Her husband was advised that they need to go to the capital to talk to the police there, which is again incorrect information, because the police station that you're living in, or what we call as the opština, needs to take care of your file. You don't go to another jurisdiction to take care of your temporary residency for residency that you have in another jurisdiction. That's just simply not right. Now, she had to order some new documents from Canada, which of course were sent late due to a postal strike, which I should let you know that this information should be given to her probably about a year in advance before she's submitted for permanent residency, just in case there are strikes in other countries and you're required to get documents. That's something that we do here for our clients, is we let them know, hey, listen, this year you're going to be eligible for PR. Let's look at doing X, Y, and Z. Your 1-year temporary residency is running out. You need to renew these documents and this insurance. That's kind of what we do here at Relocation Serbia. We don't let you as the client, try and figure it out after you finish working with us, which I think is what a lot of our clients appreciate, that we don't just set up everything and say, hey, listen, you're going to be left for the wolves. Good luck. Welcome to the country. See you later. We make sure that they are kept up to date and basically looked after for their whole entire stay here in Serbia. Now, what she was told, because she missed the registration date and did not have the proper documents in time that she was no longer eligible for the permanent residency process. Now she has to exit Serbia, come back in here, re-register for her white paper, and apply for a new 1-year permanent residency, which is again wrong. If you are applying through marriage, through a house, you'll apply for permanent residency, but you'll typically get it for 3 years. You do not apply for a 1 year, for a 2 year, for your 3 year. The police station, the immigration officers will decide that at the time of your application submission. That is how it goes. You don't apply for a certain term of residency here. And what they're telling her now is she's got to go through that whole 3 years again and then be able to apply. So essentially she'll be here for 8 years, almost 9 years altogether. So one of the things that I'm trying to get to in this video is that you may not want to work with us for whatever reason it may be. Our prices are too high. We can't help you with a visa to come into the country. And so because we don't want to help you with your visa application just to enter the country, you don't want to work with us, whatever it might be. That is fine, but understand that wherever you go, that you are given the correct information. One of the things that we see many of the clients that come to us that have tried different agencies have said to us, hey, listen, they found out that we are foreigners and we are all of a sudden given gringo pricing, for the lack of a better term here, is because once they know that you're foreigners, prices inflate, processes take longer because they think that because you're a foreigner that you don't know the processes. They're always going to say you're one paper short, you owe X more dollars to get this process started. We've even had clients that came to us and said, hey, listen, we paid this firm 1,350 euros. They spoke perfect English, and when we went back for our second consultation, they acted as if they didn't know English and made it so uncomfortable that we ended up walking out of their office, leaving back that money and walking into essentially my office, and we got them sorted out here. And what I want to say is that you need to understand that there are people out there that will try and scam you. There are people out there that will try and take advantage of you and prolong the process for you to ensure that you will keep coming back, forking out money year after year and getting absolutely nowhere. Now, there could be some agencies out there that will do a fantastic job, and I'm not saying that all people are looking to take advantage of you. I'm not saying that we're the cheapest either. By any means, we are not the cheapest out there, but what we do ensure is that your process is done correctly, accurately, and legally, and so that you are not taken advantage of. And I think a peace of mind when you come, especially moving from another country, especially if you're bringing kids over here, and even if your spouse speaks the Serbian language here, one of the things I was taught, and I even experienced myself trying to get my own citizenship here, is that sometimes you cannot trust your old friends, your own family members, because if they know that you come from a country that has a higher wage, you made more money, you spent some time there, you're coming to come here, they want a piece of pie here. And what I'm trying to say is that even if you trust some of the people that you're working with, family, friends, relatives, so on and so forth, maybe they themselves don't know the processes. And even your husband or spouse may speak the language, they may not know the questions that they need to ask in order to get their significant other through the processes here in Serbia so that they can remain here and not go through 5, 6, 7, 8 years of back and forth and still be treated as a tourist.